So this is a response to a case study about internet use violations with the ISSLC Standard 5 specifically in mind. So what we know about this case study is that the high school it takes place in is in an affluent area with students whose parents are doctors, lawyers, investment bankers, or have other prestigious jobs. This could say many things about the parents of the student body, but the only thing that we know for sure based on this is that parents are in respected positions within the community. Next, I know that Ms. Walker's teaching style does not encourage learning and contributes to students' high levels of stress. She also has not taken the advice given to her to improve this. Regardless of the situation Ms. Walker has found herself in, we need to find a way to encourage student success in this class. I know there is a website online that attacks Miss Walker's character and threatens her. I also know Randy Franks is good with computers, and because of this, Miss Walker assumes he is to blame. To encourage student learning, the staff needs to feel safe. At the same time, I cannot assume it is a student just because the staff member in question jumped to conclusions about him in a frantic state. So next we'll talk about what I need to know. First, who sent Miss Walker the email? Someone wanted Miss Walker to see the webpage. This could have been the person who made the threat because he or she wanted to scare Miss Walker, or it could have been someone who was genuinely concerned who wanted to make Miss Walker aware of this problem and who someone is attacking her. If the latter is the case, that person might be willing to help cooperate and solve the problem. If it was the person who made the comments, finding out who did it will just make it easier to punish them and give them consequences of their actions. Last, we need to know, is Miss Walker's life in danger? It may be possible, or we don't know because we assume that it's just a joke, it's a prank. I think that that's probably true, just like Dr. Forbes. However, it must be taken seriously because she feels threatened by it and because student violence is becoming increasingly common, and ignoring something like this would be a misstep in combating that. So the problem is Ms. Walker's teaching style is not promoting student success and is causing high levels of stress in her students. Because of this stress buildup, one or more of her students have created a web page that attacks and threatens her. After being sent the email, she feels threatened by her students, which is going to cause further disruption in the learning environment and therefore more stress to her students. So the stress that they have is just building on more stress now. So in order to solve this problem, we must not only find out who is responsible for the threats and discipline that person accordingly, we must also find ways for Ms. Walker to improve her teaching so students can be more successful. So my proposed plan of action begins with checking with the district's technology coordinator to see if the website was created or edited on school property and if we can see any information about who did it. This was mentioned briefly at the end of the case study. Dr. Forbes told Ms. Walker that he was going to do this for her. So because if this was done on school property, it will be easier for us to deal with the consequences for the students involved. We will be able to find out much easier. Next, we're going to talk to Ms. Walker privately to give her advice on how to encourage student success without as much stress. I would suggest conferences or meetings or any other professional development opportunities for her so that she can make her course more student friendly and learn a few more techniques to become just a stronger teacher in general. Also, she will be given a mentor teacher who is a veteran who has had success with students in a more positive environment, so she will help her develop a more stress-free classroom. Also, it should be suggested that Ms. Walker talks to her students about the situation to show them where she stands and that she is approachable. She needs to become more friendly to these students, so giving her the opportunity to talk to them through this in a pleasant way may help her do that. Next, I will email all parents who have students in Ms. Walker's class and show them the website. The parents need to know that something is going on here and that we do not know who is causing this problem. The email will also explain that the website made threats against the teacher and give them an opportunity to respond with questions about the situation. Just sending them the link may not cause them to really look at it. They may just shrug it off. If we tell them that threats have been made, they may be more likely to deal with it and talk to their students. Making parents aware of the problem will also help us come closer to understanding who is behind the website. Additionally, this will simply give parents a heads up on what is going on, so there will be no surprises if we just talk to them about something that their student did in this future. Next, we will go into each of Ms. Walker's classes and address the problem. We need to talk to the students because somewhere in those classrooms is the person who did this. I'll let them know that we are aware of the website and we are taking it seriously. We will be calling a few students in to discuss the issue, but if anyone has any information, they should talk to the principal immediately. The students will be told this website is causing problems in their learning environment and things will go more smoothly in their class once it is resolved. Someone who has information and does not share it is causing the school many problems. They should be encouraged to do the right thing. As the case study says, many of these students are looking to be valedictorian and salutatorian at the top of their class. They think that this class is already challenging for them, and if we tell them that the class is just going to get more challenging, hopefully they will do the right thing and explain what's going on so that the class will become more smooth. Next, I will call on 9 random students from Miss Walker's classes in addition to Randy Franks for individual conferences. I will not tell them that they are under investigation. I just want to see what they know. I will ask them if they know anything about the website and if they have any information about who did it. We can get information from these kids without any of them thinking that one of them is to blame, especially Randy Franks, who they think really is to blame. With this and the emails to parents, hopefully we can put an end to the threats. So the resolution goes along with those steps. To ensure the success of all students, I will conduct weekly meetings between Miss Walker and her new assigned mentor so I can be aware of what is going on in her classes and make suggestions as I see fit. These meetings are necessary because Miss Walker did not successfully implement Dr. Forbes' last suggestions. Additionally, I will help her set up a website for her parents to view so they can know what is going on in the class and help their students accordingly. If the parents see what assignments are due, they can look and see how they can help. Next, I will conduct semi-regular observations of Miss Walker's classes and speak with students who are causing problems. She says that Randy Franks is a disruptive influence, so if it is important that we put a stop to this immediately to help other students learn. Also, I can see if he's really the problem that she says he is. Finally, regardless of whether the website was created or edited on school grounds, I will suspend the student responsible for 3 days, provided we can find out who did it, because it has caused a disruption of the learning environment. He or she needs to understand that we take threats seriously and that there are consequences to our actions. This will be helpful to student success because Ms. Walker will be given peace of mind and will be able to relax and teach better. Next, just a little bit about what I thought while I was going through this. Throughout the study, I was thinking that there may be no way that we could figure out who made the website and comments in question, which worries me because this is never going to allow Ms. Walker to really relax. Also, I thought that we need to acknowledge that Ms. Walker is doing well as opposed to simply accusing her of doing things wrong. It is easy to just say, oh, we need to fix what Ms. Walker is doing, but all in all, it's best to just show her that she is a good teacher, that she's strong, and that we value her. Lastly, I was thinking that the student stress may be caused by their own laziness as opposed to Ms. Walker's faults as a teacher. We shouldn't just jump to blaming the teacher because sometimes the students are at fault on their own. They may not have been used to such a rigorous, difficult class before. As I responded to this case, I felt angry that the students would make anonymous threats instead of trying to find ways to improve themselves. I also feel bad for Ms. Walker because being a teacher early in one's career is difficult enough, so this is just another problem she has to deal with. I am a teacher early in my career, so I understand what she's going through, and it makes sense that she would get more and more stressed as her students get more and more stressed. Also, I feel that many innocent students are going to suffer more stress from the emotions that Ms. Walker is going through, and this is going to just make their problems worse. I value Ms. Walker as a teaching professional, and I don't want this incident to cause her to leave the profession. I'm also valuing my students' education, and I realize this incident is not contributing to their success. Finally, I am valuing my ability to help my staff and students when they need it. Depending on what comes out of the meetings with students, we may not know who created the website, made the derogatory comments, or sent Ms. Walker the email. Also, depending on any legal implications made on the website, we may have to further investigate what was said about Ms. Walker and if any of it is true. If there was anything about her involving students, we have to investigate it just because it's something that's a serious accusation. It is also still unresolved if Ms. Walker is willing to meet the students halfway and take the suggestions offered to her to help her students be less stressed during her class. One way my response to this case just demonstrated a sense of integrity and ethical behavior is by not immediately assuming Randy Franks is responsible for the website. Miss Walker was in a frantic state when she accused him, and in order to practice fairness, it is important that we look at the situation with an open mind. I can't just jump to conclusions that he's responsible just because she thinks he is. Additionally, I did not simply fire Miss Walker based on the assumptions made by students and parents. I set a good example for the school community by working with Miss Walker to make the situation better for everyone. Next, I acted with fairness by speaking with all students in Miss Walker's classes and only punishing those I could prove were responsible. When students disrupted the learning environment with the website, I made it my responsibility to confront those who were responsible. By meeting with all students, I ensured that I was speaking to the responsible party without assuming or alienating anyone. Additionally, when Miss Walker failed to meet my expectations with her students, I provided her with professional development opportunities and a mentor to make sure all students in her class had a fair chance at an A. Finally, I demonstrated a personal and professional code of ethics by showing the students that we, as a school, take all threats seriously. This anonymous website created a problem in the classroom that we cannot ignore. With Miss Walker, I made it my point to help her rather become a stronger teacher rather than accusing her of causing the students problems. As a building administrator, it is important to advocate for both students and teachers without taking sides. Thank you.